Hey gang, Deadpool2323 is having a contest. He wants to know a couple of things. He wants to know what's our favorite comic-related gift. It's the Smithsonian collection of newspaper comics. I got this from my sister for Christmas. I think she got it for like $1. I open it up on Christmas morn and I'm like, yay, because it really is what I want. I wanted to get one off of eBay, but I didn't want to pay the shipping. Unfortunately, she wants to match that Christmas magic, so she'll buy any comic-related giant book. This has led to doubles. I have 2 copies of this. And they almost always come with a little dedication to Grandpa, because Grandpa would love comic strips from the 40s. And it's clear that they're so cheap because Grandpa's long dead. And the same grandkids hauled this stuff off to the St. Vincent de Paul. He also wants to see our favorite autographed book that we got signed. I've never had a comic book signed, but I've had a book signed. I had the Red Green book signed by Steve Smith and Rick Green, which isn't very impressive, but Rick Green is the star of a show called Prisoners of Gravity. I suggest that you look that up right now on YouTube, because Ted Dog uploaded a number of episodes. It's about science fiction books, comic books, and such, that nerd stuff, which was one of my favorite shows growing up on TVO. So I got a chance to just chew his ear off, because it's a signing in a mall, and no one else is in line. No one cares about Red Green at that point. I think it was 1996 when it was on Global. I actually can't find that book. So I'll show this. It's a Christmas card from Dave Sim and Gerhard. My dealer got it and he gave it to me. It's technically issue 301 of Cerebus. And the interior is Dave explaining to Gerhard how they're going to do many more issues of Cerebus in Christmas card form. I want to know why we collect. I don't know. I just know I love digging through comics. I love flipping through them, finding the ones I want. I love reading them. I love exploring their meanings. I love storing them away and then going through the whole process over again. I just love it. I love ink on paper. I love words in word balloons. I can't get enough of it. And you want to see our favorite covers from each decade. These are not necessarily going to be my favorite covers. They're going to be the favorite covers I have access to. I don't even have access to a book from the 50s because most of my collection is buried. This book, Caricature, The Wit and Humor of a Nation in Picture, Song, and Story, is from 1908. I think it's all reprinted from Judge magazine. This cover's not my favorite, but it's got really great illustrations in it. Here's a mouse-chewed, muddy copy of 4-Color Comics 223. The silly story behind it is I went to a local flea market, and it's a terrible local flea market, but there's a guy there who has a store about 45 minutes away from me. I had just been to that store. It has like 3 boxes of comics, like overpriced garbage comics. He has those 3 boxes there, and I start looking through them, and he says, "Oh, you collect comics?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I was just at your store, so I've already seen these." "Oh, well, it's just probably something there that you haven't seen." And of course there wasn't. But he starts chatting me up. He says, "Oh, I guess you're one of those key collectors. You know, I hear a lot about those." I was like, "Yeah, because you should see some of the prices. Like stuff I bought for 50 cents back in the day, they now want like 10 and 20 bucks for. They want like 10 bucks for X-Force #2. He's like, "What? Are people after Spawn?" Well, they're not really after Spawn. At that time, they weren't after Spawn. Now, people charge 10 bucks for Spawn #1 when there's a zillion copies. But I'm talking about Valiant stuff and all this stuff that's gone up that people are seeking on eBay that you can't find a copy of. He's like, "Oh." So I go to his store maybe about a month later, and he's outside talking to a couple of guys. And he turns around and says, "Hey, I know you." And I'm like, "Yep." So I go in, I head for the 45s, because he's got cheap, mostly nice condition 45s, and he comes over with a box. It's a box of comics. And he says, "You made me so much money, because I went on eBay to see what was selling, and I noticed that these Canadian editions were selling for big money." So this is a Canadian edition. And he had a box full of Canadian edition stuff. So he says, "You take any one of these that you want for $1 a piece." I'm like, oh great, I can't get a freebie, but I leaf through and it's mostly photo-covered westerns, which I have no idea, no interest, you know. But I see this. I love Carl Barks. It's covered in mud, rusty staples, mouse chewed, but I gots to have it. And I pick it out and he's like, oh, because he thinks that I picked out the best one and then I'm gonna rip him off, but he sort of begrudgingly takes my dollar, and so I have this book. Here's a beat copy of Black Hawk 152. It's from 1960. I actually thought it was from 1950. I pull it out. Oh, it's September 1960. Gosh darn it. Now I gotta find a 50s book. And here's a favorite from the 70s, Steve Ditko's Shade the Changing Man #1. I love the concept of this. I love the cover, and I love the concept of wielding this chaos, which they call madness, using it as this giant fist power. Here's a nice cover from 1988 by Jeff Darrow. Daredevil and the Punisher, Child's Play. And a nice Preacher cover by Glenn Fabry. This is issue 12 from 1996. And from 2001, this is Bloodstone #1. I don't know who does the cover, but I resent him for putting that bridge in front of her ass. And from the 20-teens, Adventures of Superman #14. A nice Jacques cover. And you want to know our favorite moment from one of your videos. There's the one where you're showing off the Legends figures and the Doctor Strange statue, and you've got your son with you, Deadpool Jr. And you say, "I'm going to turn it over to the expert. He must have 22 Spider-Man figures." And he says, 80. It cracked me up. And you want us to shout out a YouTuber under 50 subscribers. I'm going to shout out Ms. Comica. Last time I checked, she was at 39 subscribers. She's into the Young Animal line. She tells anecdotes about buying the comics. It's good stuff. Oh, and also Tim Morant's new channel, I think, has under 50. He was locked out of his old channel, and I'll give a link to that because it's still got quality content. His new channel's got quality content. He's going to upload more. He's planning a video on V for Vendetta, which I'm looking forward to. So thank you to Deadpool2323. Thank you for holding this contest. Congratulations on your subscriber count. I'd check your current subscriber count, but it's constantly going up. By the time I put up this video, I'll be wrong. Anyway, thank you all for watching.